All right, recording is started, and this is the November 28th, 2023 Rook Community Meeting. So let's hop on into milestone checkups. Let's see, the last time we had a meeting here was 2 weeks ago on the 14th. So let's take a look at the things since then as well. I haven't seen and I don't know of anything to talk about for 1.11. So I'll just scoots on down to 1.12, where we did have a release since the last community meeting. So let's bring that up on the screen real quick. All right. Any of the big things to mention in this one?
Oh, let's see. The one from Satoru, the fourth one down, is that encrypted OSDs on partitions. He implemented that feature, but then it didn't end up actually encrypting the OSDs, so that one was reverted. What else to point out? Yeah, Blaine had a change for.
And Travis, was that just for like some
placement
environments, or was that not like 100%?
Well, it sounds like that feature, wasn't encrypting the data. You set the settings. Rook thought it applied the encryption settings, but then it just didn't work for partitions under the covers. The data wasn't encrypted. So I think it was all clusters who tried to use that feature didn't end up being encrypted.
Got it. Okay.
So Satoru was following up on that to see what is needed to get it actually encrypted. Yeah, I don't have any others to call out there.
Okay. All right, and then let's talk about what's on the project board, because we have another scheduled patch release for just a couple days from now. It looks like on Thursday here. So let's take a look at the board real quick and see if there's anything to call out there that's already done and shipping in that, or anything that we're waiting on.
Now this will just be the biweekly release for the 1.12.8. I think we're at, or 9.
9. Yep, 9.
9. 8 was last. Yeah, before Thanksgiving.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, nothing
major to call out there.
I think. Right. Yeah, one thing we've been waiting for is which is later in the notes, but the Ceph 1.18 or 18.2.1 release has been pending. It's supposed to be out last week, but it still keeps getting delayed for CI reasons now. So we're just waiting for that. Anytime that's out, hopefully we can make that the default. And probably also make that the default for the next 1.12 release if it's out by Thursday, at least.
And any indication of that's gonna be a likely thing to happen, to be out by then, or it's kind of holding pattern a bit?
I can't tell. Yeah, tomorrow is the weekly Ceph leadership meeting, so I'll have a better idea tomorrow on what's blocking that. I missed it last week with the holiday.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, then let's scoot on down to 1.13 then, and talk about the process that's coming up for that, and to start getting the release branch ready and release candidate builds out, and get everything squared away for a full release there. So let's look at the project board, see if there's anything in the blocking column, which there is a few of those there, and let's start taking a look at what is left to get this thing shipped.
Yeah, just before this meeting started, I was looking at the board and trying to add a few things to the blocking release column, things we'd like to get in really before the release. Those are the upgrade guide there. That's just kind of a simple one. We just need to go do that and test the upgrades, which have been really smooth for the last many releases. So don't anticipate any issues there. Using the CEL instead of webhooks. We're getting close on merging that. Subham has a couple of PRs for that. One PR to add the CEL, the admission, what do they call it? The admission something rules, and get rid of the admission controller webhook, which has been disabled Travis, for the past year anyway.
Yep. Oh wait, you said it's been disabled?
By default, it's been disabled. People could enable if they want. But honestly, there hasn't been a lot of benefit to it. And now with CEL, those rules being declarative, it's just so much better than trying to have that custom webhook.
Yeah, it is nice not to have to worry about setting up and running, your own our own webhook and dealing with certs and all that jazz. Is one
Exactly.
thing to watch out there for is like in terms of an upgrade scenario, if people had opted in to running that webhook, if when we upgrade, if that gets cleaned up smoothly, or there's not like running artifacts that are still hanging around and whatnot, will be something to watch out for. I guess we make sure is all covered in the upgrade process too.
Right. That's a good point. Confirm that the upgrade
Especially if it gets in the
network.
way of the behavior that we still want, that we want from the built-in, like, cell rules and validation.
Right, right. Or if they had, um, do the rules apply only when the cluster is created or updated, or if during upgrades would they also fail? I don't think that would be the case, but something to confirm for sure.
Yeah, that's my expectation as well, as it's only on like a trip to the API server for like an update or a create event.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So sounds close. There's actually a couple related to this subvolume group pinning. There's a couple other small PRs related to that CR. And the Rados namespace CR for allowing naming of them. Anyway, so we're just some small things, I feel like, besides the webhooks change. But yeah, release plan for next Wednesday, I think we've said. Is that what the 6th is? Wednesday or Thursday? And then, depending on how it goes, I think we'll be ready. Another thing we'd be waiting for is the CSI driver. I think it's the 3.10 upstream CSI driver. I haven't seen that released yet, so I need to check with the CSI team on when that's expected out. It's supposed to be this week. I haven't heard for sure.
And then Travis, what's your take on creating the release branch and getting an RC build out there on Thursday? Is that also dependent on things blocking the release, or go ahead and get the release branch set up, and then when these come in, we won't ship the release without them, but we can backport them to the release branch, or do you want to hold off on the release branch until this stuff is in?
The release branch, I'd say, is not blocked on those things.
Okay.
The CEL, I'd really like to get in for that first branch. So uh, I feel like we're close enough. Yeah, so we're trying to get in by tomorrow or Thursday for that. But if it's delayed, I think we'll just go ahead and create the release branch at least by Friday uh, if it takes that long.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay, Travis, just a second. If you could use any help from me for the release work, let me know, for preparing the 113. And we can also discuss whether the work on the cluster update I'm currently doing is a candidate for getting into 113. I think it might be.
Would that continue on Airflag?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, and that one will probably also backport to the 1.12 branch. It's a small enough thing. It'll be fine going to both of those.
True. Let's first get it kind of to a properly reviewable state, etc., which we're currently working toward. And then mainly I'm offering help for the release work, preparation work for 113 or anything. Opportunity for me also to learn how you're doing it, and happy to help if I can. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. You know how to reach me, right?
Yep.
Know
course.
how to
Sounds
find you.
good.
Yeah,
Cool.
Travis, I'm sure you'd be welcome to spreading that knowledge around a bit more, and getting more folks involved. I think Blaine was involved in some releases recently as well, and having more folks capable of that is always good.
Yeah, spreading that knowledge is good. It's
Cool. Oh, that's great.
At the same time, having someone in the same time or closer time zone is helpful. So that's been one of my hesitations to share in the past, because it's like I'm busy all morning when I come online, and then people go offline, and then I do the release. So that's the only challenge as far as spreading that across the world, unless
So
I just
you want somebody even closer to your time zone than me, is what you're saying.
it would be nice. We could coordinate that more for
Yeah.
people really interested. But That's that's just been a hesitation, or maybe my
But-
laziness to not spread it.
Right, but you know, with my waking hours, that I'm usually available in your time zone for a large enough
Quite a
stretch,
bit.
I think. Yeah,
Yes, for sure.
at least I can make myself available. That's what I'm saying. I'm not
Mhm.
forcing myself in. I'm just offering here.
Yeah. Well, Dave, I don't know. Is anybody from your team interested in getting involved more in their leases, or something to think about?
Sorry, I had to find the mute button. That's a good question. Not at the moment, I think, but that's
Mhm.
it. I'll keep that in mind. We'll think about that.
Right. Yeah. The main
Just
thing
haven't
with your
considered
leases,
it.
sure. But the leases honestly are fairly simple as far as deciding when to trigger. It's just let's make sure we have everything in we want in, and then go ahead and trigger it and create the release notes. And for the minor releases, it's more involved just getting the blog written and things. So if there's features that different people have, we can have different contributors to that. So I'll reach out when I start putting that blog together later this week.
And Travis, is there anything in the to-do column that has been overlooked or needs more attention, or we're feeling good about, they haven't been started, so if the release goes without them, that's okay.
Yeah, I feel like all of those are basically bug fixes or small features that won't block the release. It's nice to have. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good then. So it sounds like everything for the 1.13 upcoming release. So we are thinking then that if all goes smoothly, that we will have this release out before the next community meeting then.
Yes.
All
That's the
right.
plan.
Then that may be we probably talk then about most of this stuff. Is there more to call out or reinforce from, I think we touched on all these.
Yeah, one quick thing about the blog. I just as this meeting was started, I said, "Oh yeah, I need to ask Matt for a release image because he always makes our blog pretty with that image at the top." So I just emailed him.
Yeah, and
Asked
that
for
I
that.
hope that will work out okay. There is time here, but he shared yesterday that he tested positive for COVID. So he may not be
Maybe
around
out.
all week. Yeah, so that's the big X factor there, I would say. His Matt's health.
Sure. Yes. Does he have other people on the team maybe that could help us out if he's out, or should I get out my Photoshop and try something?
Yeah, I don't think anybody with Matt's skills, at least. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you'd
Okay.
you'd end up with something a little donkey if Matt's not
Somebody else.
healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite a few releases since I tried my artwork and it didn't look very good. So
Well,
yeah, he's got the
first
magic
step is
wand.
confidence, Travis.
All right. Well, if I don't hear from him by Tuesday, I might try something. So we'll see.
Next
Might
Tuesday,
have to-
right? A week from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Cool. That sounds good. And if I hear anything from him, I'll keep you updated too.
Cool. Thanks.
Excuse me, Jared and Travis. Which Matt are you talking about?
Oh, we're talking
Pardon my
about Matt
ignorance.
Howman, who is a designer who originally did a lot of the Rook artwork like
Oh,
5,
nice.
6 years ago or so. Yeah. So he's on the team at my company, Upbound, and he contributes some artwork every now and then still.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for explaining and pardon my ignorance.
Oh no, not at all. Whereas me and Travis are talking about somebody that probably nobody has met here in this call,
Right.
so excuse us for not being inclusive.
Mhm.
No, that's totally fine. Thanks for the details.
Yeah. All right. So the treadmill of KubeCons continues, right? I don't know if folks were able to get in proposals over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend as well. If you're in North America, that was a bit of a grind, I think, if you were able to accomplish that. The CFP closed on Sunday. So the normal way to submit talks is closed. But then, as far as I know, right, they've always done the maintainer tracks and stuff separately, so we still have time for that. Have we seen the submission forms or anything for that? I don't think I've even seen that
No.
yet. Okay, sweet.
I haven't seen it. I just wanted to start asking who's interested in going, because it looks like I'm not going to make it because that's my spring break week. I asked a couple weeks ago. I brought this up. I just wanted
Your
to bring
spring
it up
break?
again. I don't. Yeah, during my spring break is when KubeCon is. That probably wouldn't be good if I skipped the family vacation for a conference. So
Just have it in Paris.
Yeah, spring break to Paris. There you go. National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Exactly. So the core is planning to go. We are going to that one. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
we can talk.
yeah, okay.
So
We'll
Alex
follow
will
up
be
on-
there, and you're traveling too,
on that.
Dave.
Yeah, but at least the two of
Cool.
us will be there. That we promised that. The others depends on their schedules, but yeah, they might have spring break too.
Awesome.
But
Yeah,
we're gonna be
hopefully
there.
we can hang out there too. Then that sounds
Yeah.
that'll be a really fun week, I think.
Yeah, I should be there as well. Like travel budget approval still pending.
Awesome. That'd be great, Blaine.
Yeah, so if we get maybe Alexander and Blaine as the core speakers so far, we can have up to 5 on a panel. But yeah, last time we had Dimitri as kind of our upstream user input, and I think that was really good. It'd be nice to find another upstream user who might be interested in helping us present. Wonder if there's someone in the EU, but have to see who's active in the next couple weeks till we have to submit.
We have a customer in Switzerland
Mhm.
in Rem Analytics. They're pretty active.
Oh, nice.
They don't contribute code. They're a user of Ceph.
Yeah, the end user angle, like solutions perspective, like use cases, adoption, all that stuff is always quite relevant to attendees. So I think that sounds very great to me. I think.
Yeah, they do genetics
Right.
research. They take the genome and try different things with it for their customers.
Mhm.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Cool use case.
Well, what we did at KubeCon this time was 3 sections of the talk. We had the intro, we had the use case from Dimitri, and then we had a feature section about DR scenarios. So if we did something similar, do an intro because people need to know what it's all about, and then the customer or the upstream user case, as long as it's all upstream focused, how are they using it? Great, we'd love to know. And then maybe some feature, or maybe if we have a lot of content for the user, we could spend a lot of time on that. Depending, we can see.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. And then a note here on Ceph V17 releases.
Yeah, this was in the notes last week. Just wanted to bring it up again. It's still waiting for 18.2.1 to come out, which has a fix for this. Well, it never affected V18 anyway, but we need a new 17. We need a new Quincy release with a fix. But the Ceph team is kind of strapped for getting releases out upstream because they focus on one version at a time. Right now, we're focused on Quincy. They really need to get their final Pacific release out, and then they'll go back to do a Quincy release. So unfortunately, 17.2.7 is blocked for some people for now because of that OSD issue. And I don't have a good solution for that other than if that's you in those scenarios, then don't use that latest Quincy release. Or upgrade to Reef after that's out.
Okay, sounds good. And then this note here was kind of what we were talking about before, right? For using the cell rules and instead of an admission webhook, and this is the PR for that. And then I guess you added the note here about upgrade scenarios working with that being removed.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So I think we pretty much already covered this topic too. Just that it's
Travis
in
wants
progress. We need to
changes.
validate it. I'm always so picky.
Picky, picky, choosy, choosy.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, and I definitely think that's a great addition there. It just makes things easier to manage over time also. So yeah, we're hoping to get that in then still as we're making progress on 1.13. Okay, so that's everything that was on the agenda written down. Were there other topics that we wanted to bring up or discuss? Okay. Well, that's everything. Then we got a timeline here for hopefully getting the 1.13 branch going this week still, and then not too long after 1.13 out the door also. So a lot of exciting things to happen here before we meet next.
Mhm.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See
All
y'all.
right. See ya.
Thanks, folks.
Bye.
Here.
Bye.